So in today's video, we're going to be going over what is going on in this market, because some people are calling this, stock market purge or stock market hell. Like it's been getting really bad lately. And as you can see, I wrote, is this the bottom of the crash? Because I feel like that should be the main topic of today's video. There is a lot to go over. I just have a bunch of different, just a bunch of different things that we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, so obviously the first thing that I want to go over is that the Trump tariffs. I'm sure you've probably seen this image. If you haven't, here you go. This is what he came out with on Liberation Day. You could see it's like almost like a little scoreboard. We have the reciprocal tariffs, that Trump has placed on these countries. And this is not to include the blanket tariffs or auto tariffs that he's implemented as well. So these numbers could be a little bit higher, but we can actually see that we've been charged much by other countries like China, for example, 67%, and we're only charging them 34%. So it could also you could also see his point, but either way, the market has just been kerplopping, right? So no matter how you see it, it's, oh my gosh, look on the day, 5.85%. Wow, just wow. This is it doesn't matter who you support Donald Trump or not, your portfolio is being currently obliterated. So I just hope you know that if you didn't already know. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is the AAII Investor Sentiment Survey. I think you've probably already seen this one as well, but we look currently, this chart basically shows us what do investors, what do they think is going on in the market, or how do they feel. We can see week ending, the most recent week, more than half of the people think that the market is bearish right now. This is, if you haven't seen this number in past years, it's not you can look at historical averages, right? It's usually less than much less than half, 31% usually, but right now we're at 61% of people feeling bearish. So this is not a great sign, because obviously the market runs based on what people think, right? Psychology. And also, I want to show you this too, the PE ratio of just the entire S&P 500. Let's say we count it as one stock. We could say it has a PE ratio, price to earnings, and right now it's dropping almost to points that we were at during 2022, right? We're getting very close to it, and we're below the moving average. So, I was reading this book, actually, it's right here. It's called Yes, You Could Time the Markets. Even though I say you can never time the markets, this guy brings up a really good point that, when if you're buying when the PE ratio of the S&P 500 is below the moving average, then you have a much bigger return over the next 20 years. So this is a great sign to see if you're buying. But anyways, let's look at the brighter things, what's coming in the future. As you can see, our earnings calendar coming up first, this week we got Delta, and then obviously we're starting with the banks. Always, you should know, earnings season always starts with the banks. We get the big ones, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, Bank of America. I'm sure SoFi somewhere around here. It's on the 29th, I think. Yeah, so we got, SoFi should be here. I don't know why they didn't include it, but yeah, so we got a lot of earnings coming up real soon. So really soon. And this is what, a lot of investors are hoping is going to change the market sentiment, right? We want to see that, even though there's panic about tariffs, this and that the market or the companies in the S&P 500 are actually doing fairly well. But my theory is that, even though these companies might come out with, pretty great earnings, even maybe average or just slightly better than average, I feel like it's not going to matter, because people right now, they don't care about anything. They just care about what Trump has to say, or what's going on with Trump and tariffs and things like that, right? Inflation is not that high right now. The Fed is still lowering rates, or at least keeping them the same. Unemployment has been pretty steady, and we look at the recent the BLS job report, it looked pretty great. Actually, I didn't even read it. I didn't even look at it specifically, but it looked pretty good according to Trump. So far, our economy itself has not been doing too bad, right? But, obviously people seem to be very scared about a recession coming or something like that. So I don't think it's going to matter if these companies come out with great earnings. I don't think people are going to care. So yeah, anyways, Yes, we got some big names, and obviously probably, you know, what's it called? Nvidia always ends it. All right, so I also want to show you this, that you know, people have been really scared even more. Like what I was saying in the beginning of the video, are we at the bottom of the crash? I don't think so, and a lot of people don't think so either, because stock futures have just been abnormally trading lower, and this week just seems like it's just going to be another terrible week. And it's mainly because of Trump, what he has said this weekend. Investors thought, you know, this weekend with an interview with China or something like this, that he would, you know, we would come to like a good consensus about what's going to happen, but we're actually left with more uncertainty and actually a pretty bitter comment by Mr. Trump himself. So I'll show you that right here.
I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. And we have such a horrible, we have been treated so badly by other countries because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen.
So the president there saying, I don't want anything going down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. The market is experiencing that right now. The president also put out a post on social media a short time ago. In that post, again, nothing to give any indication, Brian, that the president is considering changing his mind. One last detail, the pool reporters who were out there when the president landed on his helicopter.
Yeah, so basically Trump did not give investors any kind of certainty, and it's not looking too good. I don't know, I can't see the aftermarket right now, but all I'm saying is that I don't think this is the bottom. Investors need certainty, and we are not getting that from Mr. Trump. All right, but some good news that I want to show you is that right now, if you are thinking, oh, you know, I was waiting till there was a better value in the market, waiting for better prices, this is your time. This is seriously, like, if you are waiting for the better value, check this out. So Amazon, right? One of the Mag 7, one of my favorite companies I'm investing in right now. The PE ratio is right now as low as it was in 2022, right? It's insane. And at 30, Amazon does not usually trade at a PE of 30. And then, you know, I just have this down here, the gross margin. As you can see, the gross margin of the company is at an all-time high. You know, it's not like Amazon's doing worse numbers than usual. Tariffs could affect it, yes, but the company's not in a bad place right now. We are getting at such a great value. How about we check out, I don't know, Microsoft, for example. Yeah, Microsoft, another Mag 7 name trading under 30 PE. Similar, literally what it was back in like 2020, like, wow. Like, it's seriously lowest we've had for over the past two years. Like, even Nvidia, right? Like, let's check out Nvidia. Yeah, so like, look, it's literally the same it was in 2022 during the crash of 2022. So these are some great prices. You do not want to be missing out on this. And yeah, so I want to also show you this. It's some good news as well. The VIX right now, the volatility index, right now, it's in the 45s, right? Basically, all you have to know, when this goes up, that means that there's a ton of fear in the market. When it's down, you know, it's less fear. Basically measures how much fear is in the market. And right now at 45, whenever, a good rule of thumb is whenever the VIX is over 30, you know that's a great time to buy. But we're over 40. Look, if you look at the other times we're over 40, right? Okay, this was at the beginning of the year, or, you know, in July when there was like this scare. But all the other times when there was 45, when it was over 40, like think about in 2020, right? In 2022 kind of crash, right? Imagine you had bought back then. Imagine you had bought during 2020. Oh my gosh, you'd be so happy, right? During the COVID crash. What about 2018? If you bought during 2018, you'd be super happy. Same as 2016, right? Look at 2008 when we're in the over 40, right? If you had bought during the financial crisis of 2008, right? So it's always during these times of panic that we see the VIX go over 40 even. And it's just like, wow, like, oh my gosh, around 2001, you know, sorry, you can't see, but, you know, around 2001, like, I'm sure you know what happened back then. But if you had bought it back in 2001, you'd be super happy right now. So all I'm saying is that when the VIX goes over 30, over 40, even maybe we go to 50, that's how you know it's like, that just secures in your mind that it's time to buy. Like, it's 100% time to be buying. I want to show you this. Oh, So I posted this on X as well. You know, along with the VIX, you also should look at the fear and greed index. Sorry, that's a little bit too big, but as you can see right now, we're in extreme fear territory, right? And we are at 4, right? 4. This number, basically, this number is like it shows you like how much, like the lower it is, that means the more fear in the market right now. It's insane right now. Like you can even see like a week ago we were at like 21, a year ago we were at 53, like down here. Now we're at 4. Just literally that means this is like almost the most extreme it can go, right? 0 is the lowest. This is like the most fear, right? And Warren Buffett, one of his most popular sayings is that you should buy when there's fear and sell when there's greed. So right now we're all the way down here. You know what that means? That means it's time to buy. So if you're wondering, yes, should I buy? Should I not buy? This is the time to buy, right? And if you're really so concerned about, oh, I need to time the bottom, like all I'm saying is that this is as close as you're gonna get to timing the bottom. I'm sorry. Like if you're not buying this week, you're just really just missing out on the opportunity. Seriously. But yeah, so anyways, my guess right now as to what's going on is that, you know, I'd seen this video where basically people were saying that Trump, the reason that the stock market, why he's crashing the stock market, you know, I think he's realistically the only president who has seen the stock market crash and has just been like so just nonchalant about it. And I think the reason why is because think about when the market is crashing, where do people want to go? Do they want to buy more stocks? Do they want to buy more, I don't know, more companies in the stock market? No, they want to buy more bonds, right? They want to buy more bonds. And what happens when we buy more bonds? It's more money to the government. So why does the government need so much money? See, this is why the government needs so much money, because look at our national debt, right? It's literally just climbing and climbing. So if we give the government more money, we can like slash our debt in half. And right now it's been many years that we've been in so much debt that it's starting to become time to pay off our debt, right? And what are ways that we could pay off, what are ways that the government can pay off its debt? Oh, I don't know, through taxes, right? But is Trump gonna raise taxes on Americans? No, right? He's a Republican. So the only way that he can do this is through bonds, right? So if people start buying more bonds, we can take away our debt. So I think that might be a strategy. That might be why he's happy about this rather than sad. So it could make sense. But anyways, otherwise, I've given you a couple reasons as to why this this is a perfect opportunity to be buying. Doesn't matter if you're trying to chase the bottom of the market. Like, I don't advise that, but all I'm saying is that this is as close as you're gonna get to timing the bottom, right? This is literally as close as you're getting, right? The market is at super low price to earnings. The fear is just through the roof, right? The VIX is over 40. There is literally no other time, right? People they want to just say goodbye to stocks, right? Think about it. When do you want to buy stocks? You want to buy stocks when people are just sick of them, right? You want to buy stocks when people are just like, oh, I don't even want to buy this anymore, right? You don't want to be buying stocks when everyone's doing it, right? So this is how literally people are selling their watches, their cars, their boats just to be able to buy more stocks. I promise you. And it's just wow, like we're getting this beautiful opportunity and you really just gotta take it. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.